New York Governor Kathy Hochul, who hosted Texas Democrats in Albany this week, writes in the Houston Chronicle, quote, "What Texas Republicans are doing under Trump's direction is nothing short of a legal insurrection on our Capitol. But using a legal system doesn't make it legitimate. It's a hijacking of democracy, and it must be stopped." And Governor Kathy Hochul of New York joins us now.
So, Governor, just to underscore something Michael said there is no federal crime that all of a sudden these agents are getting involved in. Let's say, though, it puts you on a collision course with the FBI. What do you do then?
First of all, I have a lot of respect for the FBI, but I guarantee there are far more important pursuits that they should be engaging in, like human trafficking, breaking up drug cartels, stopping terrorist attacks here in New York City. So I think this is an abuse of the power of the FBI to direct them to go after duly elected officials in the United States of America. If we've fallen that far, that makes our fight even more important, that all people stand up and say, we're not going to let you take away our democracy, and you're not going to hunt down our elected officials.
So, Governor, you've waded into a national gerrymandering fight, a partisan political battle at a pitched fever level. What do you see when it comes to New York? You can't actually do anything to redistrict until 2028. So is your role in this more symbolic and fighting with Democrats, since nothing can really come of it for several years unless something happens at the State House?
I mean, to not engage in this fight. If we don't fight for our democracy, we're doomed to lose it. That's how high the stakes are right now. And New York State, our normal redistricting, the next election would occur in 2032. I'm going to do whatever I can to literally change the Constitution of New York State to allow us to have an election with the lines that we draw. If this is how they're going to play the game, we're going to fight fire with fire. I didn't want to take on this fight. I've always followed the rules. Democrats always follow the rules. But when they're willing to do this to subvert our democracy, shame on us if we don't stand up. So I will get it done in 2028 if necessary, if they continue down this path. And, of course, they can stop. They want to stop this game. They can stop right now, and we'll stand down as well. But until then, we're not going to be on the sidelines. So 2026, I'll do what I did last year. I worked with Hakeem Jeffries, and we won 5 out of 7 battleground states or seats in Congress for Hakeem Jeffries. We got him that close to becoming Speaker. How important this is now more than ever to see what Donald Trump is doing to this country. And you know why they undertook this whole exercise? I'm convinced because they saw the polling for next year, and they're going to be obliterated next year because of all the Trump policies that are hurting New Yorkers in Republican districts as well. So they saw this. They said, they're in a panic. What can we do? Well, you know what? Let's change the rules in the middle of the game and see if anybody tries to stop us. Well, places like California, New York, Illinois, we're not sitting on the side. We're going to be involved in this fight to the bitter end.
Governor, I have to admit, before reading your op-ed, you could color me skeptical on the ability of Democrats to do anything here, because, as you rightly noted, typically there's this tendency more to wring hands and talk about it, and instead of actually engaging a little bit in the hand-to-hand combat, which is why I like what you wrote. And I like what you just said, because Elise sort of really set up and anticipated the reality here, which is, the Independent Redistricting Commission is codified in the Constitution. So you are sort of boxed in that regard. But it sounds as if you have already begun thinking through strategically a way in which you can keep New York in that game, not get sidelined because of some of the legal and constitutional obstructions there, but figure out workarounds. That's one point, and it's an important one. How then do you also set New York as an example, along with California, for other states, Pennsylvania, Illinois, et cetera, where Democratic governors can begin to look at their maps and go, you know what? Republicans at the end of the day want to try to get 15, 20 extra seats this way. Let's try to get 30 or 40.
Well, Michael, just on the first premise of your question, I've never been a hand-wringer on the sidelines. I'm a street fighter from Buffalo, and my blood is boiling over this. And so is the other governors, the other Democratic governors. We've talked about this. And history will judge us how we respond in this moment. Because if we allow the Republicans to get away with what they're attempting to do, this legal insurrection of our U.S. Capitol, then we'll have a generation of redistricted, gerrymandered seats that are skewed against Democrats. And when will we ever get the balance of power, at least in Washington? I served in Congress when the Republicans were in the majority in the House of Representatives. I lost that seat in the most Republican district in New York. I won that seat at first. I lost it with redistricting. But guess what? I only lost by 1.5 points, but I refused to repeal the Affordable Care Act. So I know Republican districts very well, and they will stand up and fight back. And right now, Republicans in Republican districts are sick and tired of what's happening to them. Talk to the farmers in Elise Stefanik's district in the North Country. Talk to people in Mike Lawler's district in the Hudson Valley. People are going to be losing health care, child care. And talk to a mom or dad anywhere in America. How are you doing getting ready to buy back-to-school clothes and backpacks and sneakers when the sneakers you could have bought for $42 have gone up to $72? That's just in 3 months. That's what tariffs are doing, and it's starting already. So they're going to be wiped out. They know they're going to be wiped out in the elections next year. Democrats will have a generational shift in our favor, but if they're going to break the rules, then I'm not going to follow the meter anymore. I'm sorry to say that. That actually hurts to say that. But I'm not going to go into a fight with my hands tied behind my back. That never works well.